Welcome back to the second part of Jaltest review, or if you just tuned on, my name is Jaltest and I'm sales manager at BALTICDIAG.com. In this video we'll do a short introduction to Jaltest software, functionality and basics. So let me remind you, Jaltest is a multi-brand diagnostic tool and also multi-purpose tool. It's actually not a tool, it's a solution to work every day. It has different packages such as trucks, trailers, buses, light commercial vehicles, off-highway vehicles and agricultural vehicles, as well as you can choose by manufacturer and work with only them. So let's, if you're not certain what kind of package you want, there's overview in our first video with unpacking and Jaltest packages which you can choose from. And today we're going to show some functionality with the trucks. So select the trucks. You can see all of the brands which are covered by Jaltest. For the demo purposes, I'll be using DAF model XF105. So, when you choose the truck, you can see the modules available for testing. Before that, I would like to just quickly overview the icons and functionality of the Jaltest itself. So, we have pass-through function, which is for Jaltest if you want to do direct brand diagnostics, but you'll need an agreement with the brand. ETM is for electronic test modules, which is basically for ABS modules and all braking system. Basically, you can directly test the modules itself and also its components. We've got a iParts Assist, which is Jaltest parts catalog for the Jaltest products, which are various products for aftermarket parts for trucks, and GRP. Here we've got social networks and web page, which directly links you to the Jaltest page. Main menu, which basically configuration link. You can submit feedback, brand and model customization, which you want to just do some shortcuts which you'd like to choose for most commonly used by you. Data player, which in case you had saved some media from previous diagnosis, and license information. In configuration menu, there's license configuration and the software configuration. In that menu, you can open or unlock expert mode, which I already did for this video purposes. This can be done by you as well. It's free of charge, but you'll need to just read some manuals of it in order to use it. Then, of course, if you're using tablet, you can put on the keyboard printing button for the later on purposes, where you can print the reports. Taking screenshots of the screen if you want to show for your customer or do some remote assistance, and obviously some help. Now, let's dig into the truck diagnostics connected to it. And then we'll see step by step of these functions on the left side menu. We can either choose all system scan, main system scan, or special functions and shortcuts, for example, here. For the main purposes, I'll do most of it and show you the basics. So, for example, you've got a truck for the first time and you have no idea how to connect it. For example, happens a lot to me when a truck or a car comes and I have no idea where to find the OBD cable connection. Sorry. So Jaltest can help you with it. So you press on the button of connectors, and it will show you for this particular model where is OBD connection located. In this case, in the passenger side. And of course, if you're not using if a truck will have a different cable connection, it will show you which cable to use. Well, in some kind of cases, for example, if you're working with the off-highway equipment or agricultural or some kind of rare model of a truck, there's a possibility you will not have a cable, or cable will not be manufactured for that particular truck. Well, Jaltest has a solution for it. In the basic kits, you have multi-pin connections. So you select and use multi-pins. It will tell you which multi-pins to use. And of course, you'll need to know how to connect them. So you press on detail pinout. It will show you connection where it is located. Then which connections to use, and of course, because you have no idea which one to put in, of course, instructions. So you do everything according to the instructions, and you'll be able to connect. Well, but this case, we've got a simple OBD cable, and that's perfectly fine. You can use the instructions if you have no idea how to connect it or the procedure of connection. But in this case, everything is self-explanatory. So let's connect to the truck. Usually, this software is quite self-explanatory. Everything has icons, has names, easy to understand and easy to use. So we're already connected to our ghost truck of our DAF. And directly we've got the window of identification. So you see VIN code, ECU software version, ECU hardware version. Well, in some cases, there's a good thing to do is double check VIN code. VIN codes, if matches the system VIN code with the chassis VIN code. In my experience, if they don't match, there's a possibility that something has been changed, something has been repaired already, and somebody did not do a good job before you. So there's a possibility of malfunction. Anyway, so let's imagine everything is fine. So let's do diagnostics. So we go into the menu of diagnostics and already reading. And we've got quite a few errors. So there you've got the error code. So for example, on some of the basic readers, you just get the error codes, go to the internet and then search according to code and according to manufacturer and see the description. Well, in Jaltest, you don't need to do that. You already have a number of faults. You already have a fault description. And of course, at the bottom, you'll see what kind of code it is. For example, present code, which means it's still active at the moment. Non-present code, which is usually codes which are stored in ECU and happened before, or others. Well, that's some cases, some other codes which could not be solved, but usually that doesn't happen. Let's do some overview of the of any of these errors. So, for example, let's do a fuel temperature sensor. The interesting part is it's usually these fuel temperature sensors, according to this code, the maximum value temperature was reached. So there's a possibility that either fuel system has malfunction or the sensor itself. And how to know that? Well, first of all, you should start by checking the fuel temperature sensor itself. How to do that? Yeah, Jaltest has a solution for this. Show help. Let's do this. So after a couple of little seconds, so you have got freeze frame data So when the error has happened, of course, in our ghost truck, this happened quite some time ago. At the time, the warning lamp has been active and system state is still active code. Let's go, and obviously the priority. In some of the codes there is not a first priority, so the truck or the vehicle itself can run with the code, and it doesn't make any issues of running daily. So if we continue to help components error, so let's see some information. So you've got all the information about the fuel temperature and pressure sensor. There's information where it is located, what it does, and what functions it has. For example, according to the manufacturer, if this sensor is faulty, it can influence over the system in the following functions: injected fuel volume correction. So, for example, it will the engine can burn more fuel or less fuel. Heating time calculation. So, for example, the heating of warming up the engine can take a bit longer or lesser. Maximum engine RPM could be reduced or actually escalated, and of course pressure. You can also see the pinouts of the sensor. Obviously it has 4 pins, so you can check the signals accordingly. Its location, so where it is located in the engine, you can print it out, for example, for your mechanic if you're not doing it itself. Then more information where it is located. Of course, it is located between cylinders 3 and 4, as I can see. And of course, system components like what it is, what it consists of, how it works, like a purpose of it, coefficiency, and also if you're gonna do a manual sensor diagnostics, which would mean that you'll leave the sensor in the engine and check it with the multimeter. You can check the temperature according to the ohms, and if it's working correctly, as well as pressure according to voltage. Directly from this video you can go into live data of the truck if it's running right now, and for the demo purposes, of course, it's running. It shows what kind of information this particular sensor shows. So fuel temperature, of course, it's quite low, but quite high low because it's a ghost truck, of course, and full pressure. If you want to see a better view and how it performs accordingly, you can even look at it like in the analog view. So let's come back to the troubleshooting. What we've got: blower clutch, right? An electronic control unit internal error. Let's see what it shows. So as well, we can see the time when it happened. A control unit, of course, you can check where what it is, the pinouts, location, cans, and you can check the resistance. Of course, if you're doing again the manual diagnosis with the multimeter, you can check according to resistance if it's faulty or not. If you're checking the wires, for example, if you know that after checking with the multimeter that everything is running perfectly, there's a possibility of wiring. So you can go into wiring diagram directly and check information what it is wired to. So it's in, so this is the parts selected, that's our ECU, sorry, engine management control unit, aka ECU. So you can see all the information here and where it is connected. Then again, we can come back to the previous view. And we've directed into diagrams. But let's go into diagram and fault troubleshooting code. Well, in this case, Jaltest doesn't have a solution of a manual troubleshooting. On some of the vehicles, you'll have the idea and where to start. But usually, I mean, this is a solution for you to help. It's not gonna do a job for you. It just will gonna help you. So let's say we fixed everything. We can clear the codes directly from here, and it clears the codes quite easily. Now, in this view, you can still have some error clears, system data, ECU data, for example. If you need to double check what's in here, you can do a electronic control unit programming, for example, max speed limiter. So one has been set, for example, and vehicle data. So it will show you the current status of how much fuel it has been used, average fuel consumptions, which are awesome. But it's just the purpose of demos. You can go into parameters and, for example, change any of these, or, for example, display parameters or modify parameters. So, for example, engine speed, we can set it if it would be a real thing. Speed limit, for example, yes. So I'm running in an expert mode. We can do we need to check the RPMs. Obviously, some information if we're still interested in modifying it. And currently the speed is changing, and we can adjust the speed limit according in this range. So we just put the numbers and just do it. Because it's a demo unit, I'm not able to do it. So let's go into back into the measurements. For example, if you want to do some diagnostics and see live data, which is usually the best thing to do for yourself if everything is running correctly, but still you want to double check it, you can select measurements which you want to look at. So for example, usually for me, engine speed, boost, fuel pressure, engine oil, intake temperature is important settings for me. So I can go and look at it directly. So it will show you this. Or if you're running on road diagnostics, which is quite a good thing to do, because when truck is loaded, working fully, and you're testing not on dyno but on the road, you'll see correct parameters. So you can go, and if you want to see the proportional view, you can just turn on live view and just drive and check the parameters yourself. Obviously, you can pause it whenever you need. So for example, the driver was doing some, high RPMs. Usually you can't do it for a long time, so he done it a bit. You stopped it on that parameter, and you can see of a boost pressure, fuel pressure, intake temperature, what has been reached, and obviously engine oil pressure. So this helps a lot to see live data and troubleshoot. If we come back, we can actuate components, for example, engine brake, exhaust brake, gases, excess valves, and so on. So just put it on, and engine speed, for example, you just select it and actuate. Obviously, if we would be running a real truck, you would hear the actuation. Then we've got system checks, compression tests, cylinder test, boost air pressure, and fan. So you can do that as well. Calibrations, in this case, calibration can be done on oil level sensor. So let's try it. So we still have to agree on the expert mode. This gives you information how to do it. So you must ensure that settings, for example, it's on a horizontal surface and the engine has been stopped. And obviously 2 measurements, at least 1 minute. Okay, so you ensure all of these. Yeah. And you can calibrate the information according to the instructions. So as you can see, Jaltest gives you all the information how to do it. Even if you have no idea, but you need to, you just use Jaltest and it will give you full information how to. So reset or calibrate. Yeah, let's do calibration. I will not do any harm for my ghost death. Okay. And data recorder, you can press and records of ECU configuration running and so on. So you can just leave it and as it is. Well, at least half of these functions are available with the other diagnostic solutions, tools, to be honest. Why I like to call Jaltest a solution? Because it has answers to your questions. For example, you ran the diagnostics, but you have no idea where to start else. You've got system technical data. It's located on the left menu. So if we get into it, we can see components. For example, you need information on glow plugs. Okay, let's do this. So where it is located, wiring diagrams, power supply, power, coil resistance. If you want to, for example, check the state of a glow plug, yeah, you open up, take a multimeter, check according to these values. If it's okay, then okay. Fuel filter, okay, location if you have no idea where to. Of course, diagram according to where it is located, for example, how is it working, and if you're having troubles finding it, you can trace by the pipes. What else? So, fuel leveling pump, yeah, why not? So you've got information, or can even have more information. I mean, there's just various libraries. Next good thing is vehicle service data. We select the truck's engine. For example, I'm running this. It will show you. It will show you information what you should do on a service check. So the customer drops in with the truck. It's going through its yearly maintenance, or even or according to kilometers, for example. Drops in, needs a service. You don't want to forget what to do, so you open up vehicle service data. You select what you want to do or you need to do, and check what you do not to forget. Okay, so let's say we need to check engine compartment. Okay, so check the ceilings. We'll check the ceilings. All right, they're good. Check engine oil level. Yes, all good. Check the sealing damage. Well, they're not good. Okay, so needs replacing. Check clean radiator. Yeah, we did that. Check clean intercooler. We did that, but well, intercooler has a little hole at the bottom. Cool, let's start it. Okay, chassis, yes, check the brakes. We did that, awesome. Clutch wear indicators, yes, they're good. Bleeder, we did that. And we can do all sorts of things. Okay, so we did some checking, right? This is what our customer asked us to do. Now we can have a look and print the report. So you'll have customer's name and everything filled out before starting the Jaltest. We can see that there is a report. Okay, so I did these checks, they were fine. Now I did this check, I'd add a comment, needs replacing. I'll inform my customer that ceilings needs replacing and intercooler is not in a fully working state, has a hole at the bottom as I noticed. So I can show this report to my customer. We can also see that according to this, and various information on what we did and what we did not. Okay, so I'll show this report to my customer. If he wants to, we gonna replace accordingly. We can print directly from this view or just get out of it. Now you printed out the reports, you did that, you showed what has been done and what's been checked. That's a proof for the customer that you did your job. Now let's go to vehicle technical data. So in this you'll see a lot of technical data which is related. For example, a customer drops in, says that accessory belts needs replacing, it's time for it. So you took off the belt, you gave it to your colleague who's bringing you stuff. Usually in most of the service you have a particular person, or if you're running on a little bit smaller workshop, you just went to buy it yourself. Usually what I do, I take out of the belt, go to the shop, tell the model, tell the dealer what it is. He brings the belt to me and I'll check accordingly. Otherwise I'll bring the different belt and have to go to the shop once again. Well, my memory is not that good, even most of the time when I'm working with cars or trucks. Usually I work with cars. So I come back and put a new belt and I forget how to do it. So Jaltest comes in, you go to vehicle technical data, open up diagram, it will show you how to put first belt. It's located in bright blue, and a bit faded the second belt, which is directed like that. Okay, so you can print it out if you're not bringing your laptop and if your hands are dirty, or you can just have a look, save a planet and go to work. Now there's most of the common faults, for example, cooling system. So if you want to test cooling system, you'll obviously need to know the pressure in the pipes. So Jaltest will show you what the pressure should be and you check accordingly. Thermostat, yes. So obviously 3 types of thermostats in this kind of trucks. Standard, opening, you can check the length, etc. So according to this information, you can run diagnostics and check thermostat. In some of the services, you take out the thermostat and check, for example, in a hot water. If it's interdicted, obviously the values are different. Or heavy duties, of course, opening temperature is smaller than standard. So this information helps a lot to know if thermostat is running properly, or if thermostat has been installed a correct one, rather than, instead of a standard one, you put somebody bought a heavy duty one, and obviously the engine is at fault at the moment. So lubrication, what oil type? Depends obviously on the truck you're running and where you're from, according to the temperatures of region. Then you can check obviously the pressures of lubrication. So in case the oil pump could be faulty, but that happens rarely, but if it happens, you'll know how to check it. So idle, 1.5 bar, and etc. etc. So what we've got some specifications. If you have no idea, so for example, if you want to buy some parts like, I don't know, belts and whatever, you need to have most accurate truck specifications. Therefore, you've got Jaltest, and it shows and explains how to read the specifications on engine identification plate, and it will show you accordingly. All generic information. So for example, what power is on this particular truck which I'm running, maximum speed rates, idle, if it's working correctly. All this information is directly from manufacturer, so you'll know everything here. You can run into, for example, engine. So you're rebuilding the engine, or before rebuilding you disassembled it and you want to check measurements. Well, you'll need some library, right? You have no idea how many millimeters the crankshaft or camshaft supports or whatever. So you turn on Jaltest, you go to vehicle data, choose engine. You've got information about the camshaft, tolerances, and you check accordingly. Of course, crankshaft, yes, all the information is provided with the measurements and so on. So measurements are here, and you know which ones. You check the tolerances. If they're good, you put it back and do other work. If not, obviously you need to either repair it or change it to a new one. Cylinders, of course, dimensions of the engine in case you need it. Engine distribution. So this helps when you, I don't know, changing something and you have no idea how many thieves are there. Well, Jaltest has this information for you. Flywheel, because it's running the automatic gearbox, obviously it has temperature of engaging and so on. So, or turbocharger, for example, basic adjustments of the turbocharger. Yeah, sure. Regulation rod and position. So plus minus minus 1. 2.2 bar. That should be how to regulate the actuator of the turbocharger. So you got the idea. All the information is here. You just need to find it, and this will help you work. Then again, we've got troubleshooting by symptoms. Okay, so let's turn it on. So you've noticed that you've got a black smokes coming out of the engine, out of the exhaust pipe. You've got here engine expels black smoke. And Jaltest will give you all the information what should be checked in order to find a error why engine is doing this. So you run the diagnostics, doesn't show, the ECU doesn't store some information, so you'll need to run it manually. So you go according to the checks. So for example, air filter, corresponding pipes, radiators, pressures, boost air temperature, etc., etc. Then again, there's a possibility of bad compression. You can run either compression test with the manual tools or with Jaltest help if ECU stores that information. Also turbo compressor check, etc. So it gives you the list of possible faults if you have no idea where to start from. Well, this helps a lot with either when you are working with a new truck which you're not familiar with, or if you are a rookie mechanic like me. So when I don't have an idea where to start, I just see a symptom, I'll just go into Jaltest and Jaltest will help me. So you've did that and etc. So repair times. Well, this is my favorite part. It's the last button of the left menu, and it's for your most important part. This is to print a report which will show your customer what you did according to manufacturer's timing system. For example, you've did oil change. Okay, you changed this. Change the fuel filter. Yes, half an hour, but bolts were rusty. Took extra 10 minutes. Cool. Then again, change that blue filter. Yes, we did that. Took extra time because customer brought wrong belt. There you go. Because we needed to source it. Another what? Plus 2 hours? So, replaced coolant. Well, it was without a retarder, you see. Well, it has same, but you need to put it on report because it will give you information for your customer that he needs to pay for an extra coolant. So, well, what it is, 10-15 liters of coolant, maybe more, I don't know. Sorry, liters of premium coolant. Sure. Now we can total 3 hours according to manufacturer. Let's see the report. Took extra minutes. Yeah, let's count that. Yeah, liters of premium coolant. You put that. Association, etc. You print it, you make some marks, put a signature, give it to your customer. All done. You charge per hour, per day, per work. That depends on you, but you'll have a report of how long you did your job, how long it took, and what you did. And you get paid for it. So it gives you value for yourself because it keeps track of things you do, things you don't do, and what it's paid. And of course, if you are running a shop and the work is done by your mechanic, this gives you the report, and when you present it to your customer, you have a proof what has been done, how long it took you, it took your mechanic, what has been used, what extra parts, extra bolts maybe, coolant, whatever. you submit to your customer, and you have all the information to the customer to see. So Jaltest is a solution to work on every day. It's not only a diagnostic tool. It helps you in everyday tasks with the information, with the library of information, with the specifications, work, keeping track of work you do, and so on. So it's a solution for you. It's a solution for your shop, and it's if you're thinking that that tool is just a tool, Jaltest is a solution. It's an investment to your workshop. It is to bring your customer value and in extra or good income into your workshop. It will help you do it. So let's disconnect from the truck. Let's get out of it. You can save the report with the customer's name, company's name, etc. Maybe even, for example, customers, yeah, etc., etc. And of course, invoice, how long hours, the price, whatever. So you print the report and you save it. Your customer gets all the information. So I'm gonna close this and get out of it. So you get all the information out of simple thing as a diagnostic solution, and you can work with this. So today we showed you how to work with trucks. Most of these kind of functions work throughout all of these solutions. Again, it's not a tool, it's a solution to work on every day. So if you're a mechanic, you'll need a library, you need information to work on every day. And also, as an extra thing, you can still run diagnostics and program and calibrate, which will bring value to your customer and income to your company. So thank you for watching. Again, my name is Dovydas. I'm the main sales manager at BALTICDIAG.com. You can visit our website, www.balticdiag.com. My contacts are there and also in the description below this video. And you can contact me if you need any advice on the Jaltest or other diagnostic tools, and we'll get you the best prices, the best solution for your workshop and for yourself. And you will invest in your and your company's future with these solutions. Thank you for watching.